All right, we're back. You saw how close that was.
Yeah, we really thought we were going to lose, but there you have it. That's Legendary Buffy. Now that you've seen a Legendary game, you can play any of the Legendary games and just tweak it for whatever the unique rules are, but they pretty much all play the same.
Yeah, that was my first time playing a Legendary game.
So. No, it wasn't. We've played this like at least 6 times now.
I'm saying I've never played another Legendary game.
He doesn't remember things very well. I don't know if it's the Long Island iced teas or what, but normally he remembers what we played last week. I don't know. Anyhow, so this was the Buffy version. Both of us are Buffy fans. Kind of why we picked this one to show, because we've played it numerous times now. And like Jeb said, super close. We really thought we were just not going to win when we had all four of those master strikes almost immediately, and the scheme twist, 2 of those under there. We were just fortunate enough to get cards to keep that tracker in the light most of the time.
It was that bazooka that helped us out.
It was the bazooka that knocked off two villains, and then I was just able to get lucky with the combos and have enough courage tokens to be able to crank it over 12 also. But that's usually how these Legendary games go. Usually they're pretty close. Every once in a while, it's either a blowout in one direction or another. I would say usually the blowouts happen more often with bad luck on the villains than it does, because you do have to build up your deck. So the odds are that you're going to have a god deck right out of the gate is usually pretty low. So, anyways, what do you like about the game?
I definitely like the Buffy IP, I guess. That's one of my favorite
Other than the Buffy IP, Jim, what do you like about the Legendary stuff?
I do like that it's co-op. Not too many deck builders are co-op, but that helps because I like co-op stuff. So
yeah, I do too.
I really like how they have the whole setup with Sunnydale and the monsters. I think the theme actually goes really well. Like they were able to map it, because you do get the feel of there's the big bad who's doing his overall thing, and then you got the small villains coming into town and doing their stuff. So,
which, since he mentioned that, they really do the same thing with the comic book stuff too, because you have an arch villain and then they're all their minions,
right?
And they do the same type of thing with like the Marvel Legendary system. So it did convert well with almost anything that has numerous main villains and stuff. You could pull it off. And then, this one had some nice things, like the courage tokens are a little different. The light and dark is a little different.
That light and dark thing
and that really goes with the theme with the vampires and the good and the bad and all that kind of thing. I really like the Legendary stuff just because it does have a feel for, like whatever you're playing. Like if you're playing a Marvel, the Spider-Man cards have Spider-Man type of things.
Yeah. Just
like in this game, if you watch the show, the Buffy cards have, Buffy would have done that, plus, the art on it. I can't remember right off the top of my head what some of the other themes they've done with this. I do know that the encounters are slightly different, which I believe we mentioned in the very first intro, that this system and the encounter system are a little bit different. So those aren't compatible, but the rest of the Legendary stuff, I mean, I guess you could throw this in with the superheroes, but if you don't use the board, I don't know that would work that well. You could try it. I probably wouldn't. But anyways, there's a pretty big universe with these if you like this type of game. Now, is there anything else you want to say about this?
One thing is the bystanders. I feel like they're not. It might just be because we played 2-player, but every time we've played, I feel like the bystanders aren't really. They're not present as much. Like when you set up the 4 or 5-player game, I know it says like throw 15 in. So
I don't know if it has it in this game, but I know there are scenarios in other games, and there might be one in here where the bystanders play a bigger part. Like you can't let them escape, and then they load up the deck, and so it's hard, and they push them along. Stuff like that. I don't know if there's any in this one. We haven't played that yet, even though we've played it numerous times. I like the variety in the villains. I would say my biggest dislike about this game is it's not exceptionally easy setup and takedown.
Okay.
Only because there's so many things. You got the different characters. They all have to be put away separately. You have to go hunt for them if you want particular ones at the beginning of the game. And then you always have to shuffle, and you have to shuffle really good. So if you, it's not like you can leave it already mixed up. You have to sort it at the end of each game, so that means you have to shuffle it really well at the beginning of each game. So the teardown and the setup are my least favorite things about all the Legendary games.
Make sure you play Legendary games with nice friends who help you sort stuff afterwards, right?
And don't give you wound cards?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Alright. The other thing that I really don't... It's been a complaint since the beginning of them, and they even didn't do it for this, is the cards all look very, very similar. They don't have good distinct borders for the separation and stuff. So you really, really have to, you always have to kind of read the top of the card. Yeah, there's visual pictures and stuff, but it's not, they're different, so it's not like your brain goes, that goes there, that goes there, that goes there. It's like, that goes there, that goes there.
Yeah.
So it's one more thing in the particularly the takedown that makes it a little bit harder, in my opinion, because
I agree with that.
All the
like,
fronts are very, very similar, and it doesn't.
I kept throwing the angels into the Xander piles and separating.
Exactly, because I mean the pictures aren't huge, and it's not, and it's cool to have the different art. But like I said, they didn't put you didn't put a nice bold border around them or anything like that, or give it a big
like
Z symbol or for Xander or something. They just didn't do it.
You mean
and they didn't do it. Yeah. What did I say? I said Z. The first time Jeff gets to make fun of me, and because I can't spell. I can spell, but that just came out. I spell Xavier with a Z too.
What's up, Xavier?
Yeah, no kidding. All right. So. Nah, I know that's not getting cut out. I feel
nope,
like
that is staying
in there. Hey, can you teach me how to edit?
Nope.
Anyways, that is my biggest complaint about this game. And it's not like it's horrible. It's just when you're used to playing stuff that has been designed to go a little bit faster. This one's a little bit of a burden.
And then like playing, if you wanted to play like two different bosses back to back, like you're spending that time taking it apart and re-putting it back together, and it's like, so.
Yeah, and I guess back to some of the stuff that has been interesting when we were playing. I think there was one scenario that we did random. We totally picked random. And I think we played it 3 times and lost every time, and we finally were like, we've got to put a couple different heroes in. And then the second we put some different heroes in, we won.
Yeah.
So I don't know if we ever could have won it on that. So the randomness kind of makes it cool, but you definitely can see there's better synergies with some scenarios and others. So you got a lot of gameplay here.
Yeah.
Back to the stuff I like about it, because like I said, the only thing I didn't like about it was what I just said. So. If we didn't say it before, it's got thumbs up from me.
Same here. Yeah, I think we've already played it, what, like 5-6 times, something like that?
Yeah, one of the ones that's been to the table a lot. And with as much as I complained about takedown and setup, it's still quick enough to play that's why it gets pulled out too.
Yeah.
Because it's not so, it doesn't take very long to actually play once it's set up. You know, it's not very...
And after playing it once, like I know how to, we can just pick it up whenever, like if there's something that we want to play, like without having to think.
Which brings out a good point. If you're playing with somebody that's never played a deck builder before, I don't think this is too much. It's probably not it's not the best deck builder to start with, but it's not a hard one either. I wouldn't say.
Yeah.
I mean, if you really wanted to start at the bottom, I would say DC's, in my opinion, is the easiest
the DC one is pretty easy.
Star Realms to an extent, but that's that's a little more back and forth rather than
more
everybody
versus
than everybody trying to do the same thing. So that's all I have for right now. All I can think of.
Same here. I can't think of much right now.
Oh gosh.
All right, so we should probably say things to remember, and it's the one that I always forget. It's at the beginning of your turn, you flip
a villain.
monster. Yeah.
Everybody forgets flip a villain because you just want to start buying and killing stuff.
Yep.
So remember to flip a villain. Just do the cards in order too, because that can make a difference.
Oh yeah.
From top to bottom on the card, and then make sure that if you're playing any of the special abilities in the card, the order you play cards in makes a difference for triggering certain abilities. From a technical standpoint, once you play a card, resolve top to the bottom, and then do the next card. Once you're used to the game, that's kind of inherent. You just tossing stuff down, you know what's going to happen. So
yeah.
Other than the draw a villain, I don't think there's that much.
Everything else is pretty simple.
Yeah, because most of the time unless you played it 100 times, you're still going to have to reference the big bad or the scheme twist to remember what both of those cards do. And the only other thing, if you haven't played it in a while, if you go back to setup, just remember to consult the chart so you remember how many heroes and how many villains. Mm-hmm. Actually, I think until you get maximum players, I think the heroes stay the same. I think you get an extra at max capacity, right? Or is it an extra villain?
I don't remember.
Anyway, it doesn't really matter. We're not
Just
showing
look
you
at the
that big
book.
of a game. Yeah, just follow the book. So anyways, that was Legendary Buffy and the Legendary system in general. I'll explain it once. We hope you enjoy it.
Yep.
And Jeb is going to tell you to subscribe and do all that stuff now.
Yeah, please like, subscribe, leave comments. If there's any games you want us to see, let us know.
Want us to see or want us to play?
Well, maybe they want us to just look at games for an hour.
There, that makes up for my spelling Xander with a Z.
Guess what's getting cut?
Oh, that is so wrong. That is so wrong. Oh, that hurts.
Yeah, and I don't even know if we'll do another Legendary since you said they're all pretty similar. So
yeah, they're all pretty similar. I'd probably,
yeah.
I mean, unless you guys really wanted to see us play something, not like we won't play a game.
Right.
But yeah, I doubt we're gonna pull out Marvel Legendary or any of the other ones now that you've seen this. So there you go.
All right. So until next time, bye.
Boards and booze, booze and boards with Mickey and Jeb.
Like a
Like
symbol.
Z symbol or for Xander or something. They just didn't do it.
You mean an
And
X?
they didn't do it. Yeah. What did I say? I said Z. The first time Jeb gets to make fun of me, and because I can't spell. I can spell, but that just came out. I spell Xavier with a Z too.
What's up, Xavier?
Yeah, no kidding.